Hello viewers, welcome to our channel TechStreetz. In this video, let's understand how to send JVM metrics to Prometheus. Now let's understand the architecture. Suppose we have a Java Spring Boot application which is running. To this Java Spring Boot application, we will be adding JMX Exporter as a Java agent to this Java Spring Boot application. So after adding this JMS exporter as a Java agent to it, this Java related metrics will be seen at the port 1234. So after visualizing all those metrics, we are configuring this JMS exporter endpoint in Prometheus so that the Prometheus will scrape all those metrics. After we are having all those metrics in Prometheus, we will be visualizing all those metrics in Grafana. This Prometheus is running on the port 9090, Grafana is running on the port 3000, and JMS Exporter is running on the port 1234. It could be any port. Let's try to understand this mentioned architecture in demo. If you see this Prometheus documentation, there is a concept of exporters and integrations. There are multiple inbuilt exporters for databases, messaging systems, storage, HTTP, APIs, and all. Here I am using JMX Exporter, which is used to send Java related metrics to the Prometheus. As per the documentation, we need to download this JMS Exporter jar. Here I am using 19 version. You can use 20 also. So after downloading the jar, you need to place it in a specific folder. I am going to terminal. Here if you see, I have downloaded JMX Prometheus Java agent of version 0.19.0 .jar. And also I have configured an YAML file. What is this YAML file do? If you see the rules here, I am using java.lang.star and and neo.star. So all the metrics related to Java but JVM will be stored in these two packages. These two are added in these rules. So that we'll be using this YAML file and also this JMS Prometheus jar as an agent to our Spring Boot application so that it will expose the metrics in a particular endpoint. Now let's go to our Spring Boot application. This is a sample Spring Boot application. I am trying to build this application. You are no need to understand how this application works and all. I am just showing that we are using this particular Spring Boot application. For this Spring Boot application, I'll be adding this JMS exporter as a Java agent. Now let's understand how can we add. Here I am going to the particular terminal. Here if you see, we have a target folder. Going to that particular target folder, we have an application jar. So in Spring Boot application, we will be using java-jar and we'll be giving this Spring Boot Prometheus. Whatever the jar we are going to run, we'll be clicking on enter to run this application. Now we need to add JMS exporter as a Java agent for this application. So for that, Java agent we have to give this Java agent and also JMX exporter Java agent jar, and I am giving the port here which is 1234. You can give whatever the port you want to. In this port all the metrics will be exposed. And also as I mentioned, I need to mention this JMX config.yaml file path, and we know it is JMX config.yaml file. And I'm starting this Spring Boot application. The Spring Boot application is about to start. It is started. Okay. The Tomcat is running on the port 8080. As we seen here, the port we have given for JMX exporter is 1234. So let's go to localhost 1234. If you see, all these are Java related JVM metrics for that Spring Boot application will be given here. We haven't done anything. We are just simply using this JMX exporter as a Java agent to our Spring Boot application. So automatically whatever the port I have given there, in that port all the metrics are generated. After generating this metrics, I'll be adding this endpoint in our Prometheus so that the Prometheus will start scraping these metrics as well. I'm going to terminal. Here in user local etc, there is an prometheus.aml file. Here I have given a job name as JMX Exporter with the target as localhost 1234 where our metrics are present, and I am saving it. Now let's start the Prometheus with this command by giving this prometheus.aml file. I have started the Prometheus in local. Now let's go to localhost 9090. So if you see here, I have mentioned this JMS exporter which is also up. You can view all those by graph also. So I have given the port 1234 and the job name as JMS exporter. It is up and running. It is one here. So it means Prometheus is started to scrape all those metrics based on the interval. If you see the AML file here, Prometheus is scraping the metrics from all these endpoints with an interval of 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds, the Prometheus will start scraping all those metrics. It will be very clear if you are viewing all these metrics in Grafana. So let's go to Grafana. I have already started the Grafana in my local. It is running on the port 3000. So the Grafana is up. Here, let's go to the data sources. I have added the Prometheus also. And my localhost port is 9090 where this Prometheus is running. I have added the Prometheus connection URL and I'm trying to test this. Successfully queried this Prometheus API. We are using this JMS exporter, right? This JMS exporter, we have a dashboard also. If you see in grafana.com, there is a JMX dashboard which is basic one. We can import the dashboard to Grafana. So for that, I'm copying this dashboard ID and going to Grafana. Let's go to dashboards, new dashboard, or you can import it directly. I'm clicking on new dashboard, import a dashboard, and I'm pasting it, load. Okay, JMX dashboard, which is a basic. Now I'm trying, so we need to select the Prometheus data source. I have selected this Prometheus and clicking on import. If you see, all the metrics come related to the JMX exporter. Here it is giving which JDK we are using and the status is up and what is the uptime in the last 5 minutes. Our JMX exporter and as well as Prometheus is up and started scraping those metrics, and what is the start time and the date as well, total RAM, memory utilization, CPU load, okay, physical memory, JVM memory. So all these metrics, let's go into one of the things. Let's go here, try to edit this. If you see here, there is something join is happening here. This query and everything is taken care by this dashboard itself. We don't need to do anything. We are just using this JMS exporter and as well as app 1234, which is scraping by the Prometheus and added this Prometheus while importing this dashboard. You can visualize all the metrics here. Let's talking a brief what we have done now. We have taken a springboot application and we are adding this Prometheus JMS exporter as an Java agent for our application, and we have given a specific port where we want to see all our JVM metrics. I have given the port 1234. After starting the Spring Boot application, we are just going to the particular port in localhost 1234. Here you can see all those metrics and this particular endpoint is configured in prometheus.aml file, which is scraping by every 5 seconds, and this is the job name as JMX exporter with the targets of localhost 1234. After configuring that in prometheus.yaml file, I have started the Prometheus in local with this command Prometheus and giving the config file as a command. After starting the Prometheus successfully, I am going to the Grafana dashboard. Here in Grafana, I have imported this particular dashboard and also configured the data source, which is a Prometheus. After the data source is successfully added, then you can import this particular dashboard here, and you can see all these JVM metrics in Grafana itself. I hope you have some idea on this particular architecture, and now we are able to see all those Spring Boot application JVM metrics in Grafana. If you like this video, please share with your friends and don't forget to subscribe our channel TechStreetz.